It says that will be taken into consideration as item 11, is that right? Okay. Does any member have any declarations of interest? No? Item 4, public question time. Have we had any questions? Thank you. Item 5, does Cabinet agree the minutes of the meeting held on the 20th of October 2025? Thank you. Item 6 is the Revenue Monitor and Capital Investment Programme 25-26. Councillor Jabbar.
Thank you, Chair. I'm pleased to provide Cabinet with an update on our month 6 revenue and capital position. First of all, there's been a positive movement to report since month 5. Our forecast gap for 25-26 has improved by just over £2 million, bringing the current position to 21.094 million. This is still a significant challenge, but an improvement. And more importantly, Oldham is facing the same pressures that councils across the country and Greater Manchester are experiencing. Much of this challenge continues to come from rising demand in essential services. We are seeing more residents needing support, more complex needs and higher national cost in areas like SENS provision, temporary accommodation, and both in children's and adult social care. These are statutory services, and the cost pressures, including inflation and sector-wide price rises, are being felt by every local authority. Despite this, our early and decisive management actions are making a difference. We now have a tighter spending control, with directors signing off all non-essential expenditure, a recruitment freeze allowing only business-critical roles to proceed, ongoing monitoring of trends so that we can respond quickly to changes in demand. These measures are already helping to stabilise the position, and we expect further improvement in the future monitoring rounds. Looking ahead, the upcoming local government finance policy statement later this week, I think it's going to be on Thursday, and the provisional settlement in December will be crucial in determining Oldham's financial position for next financial year. We're actively modelling different scenarios so that we can fully prepare and be able to act swiftly if the engagement with government is required. Turning briefly to capital, the original programme was for 108.5 million, has now been upgraded, and the current budget is 122.248 million due to new funding, scheme adjustments and rephasing. At month 6, the expenditure stands at 26 million, which is 21% of the revised budget. As usual, our annual capital review is underway, and this is likely to lead to further reprofiling to make sure capital resources are aligned with delivery and priority schemes. Chair, in summary, while the scale of financial challenge is clear, so is the progress that we're making. Through careful management and strong financial discipline, we are beginning to see positive movement, and we will remain fully focused on protecting essential services and maintaining a sustainable, balanced financial future for Oldham. I'm happy to take any questions.
Would any other member wish to speak? Shahid.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Just to highlight, I think we often look at the figure, and it is, you know, an eye-watering figure, but just to say thank you to Abdul and the team, because clearly a lot of work has gone into what we are now seeing as a revised figure. And again, it can get lost in clearly the financial position councils up and down the country find themselves in. So just to highlight that, because I do think it's really important, and we all know a lot of work goes on behind the scenes, including in my own portfolio area of children's and young people. So just wanted to highlight that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mushtaq. And I think just to add on that, I think it's really difficult to explain local government finance, especially to our residents, because it's so complex, so complicated. And it's like I've said previously and on many occasions before, that we don't operate like a profit-making business. We have statutory responsibilities, which means there are things that we have to do, regardless of the pressures that we face, regardless of the lack of funding that we have to do them. We have to do them because that's what public service is about. And I think, you know, whilst we all know that the council's financial position continues to be challenging, I think it's really important to provide updates on where we stand in a way that our public can really comprehend and understand what that means for them. I think, like you said, Councillor Mushtaq, many councils across the country are in a similar position to us, but Oldham continues to be hit with rising process and rising demand for services, which has led to the £20 million challenge that we potentially faced this year. But I need to be really clear, and I did a video about this last week because I saw some of the comments that were being made on social media and elsewhere, and actually being perpetuated and, you know, led by people that should know better. So other elected members were putting this out as well, and what that means is that we have to be really clear that when we talk about finance in this room, and when we talk about our budget, so when we say we've spent more than our budget, about £21 million this year, some people online would genuinely have you believe that that figure is a full year projection, that is based on spend over the first 5 months. But actually what Councillor Jabbar has described is what we have to do. So we have to provide that in projections, but actually the significant work that's been put in by Councillor Jabbar and his team means that they have already put in additional measures to make sure that there is something in place to slow that spending. And we've seen that figure reduce because we were only having this meeting a couple of weeks ago, weren't we? And look at the position we're in already. So we're down from £23 million at month 5 and down even more in the early indications that we're seeing from month 7. So there are always going to be increasing costs to run essential services. That's always going to be the case. And like you said, Councillor Jabbar, it's mainly in adult social care and children's social care and temporary accommodation. But what is mainly driving the pressure on our budget, as well as that, is just, I mean, for example, if we use your portfolio, Councillor Mushtaq, the example of cost of placement for vulnerable children has gone up 300%. Now that, when you describe it in that way, isn't something that everybody can sort of remember or align to or associate with, because it just seems, but that is what we face in this service for over the last few years. So I think those sorts of increases are really difficult to manage within a fixed budget, because like I said before, you have to spend on those statutory services when that demand is there. You don't have a choice of turning or looking the other way, because you are then letting down vulnerable people. And we need to remember that behind these figures are often people that are really struggling, who need our help the most. And I would never want to be a part of a public service that thinks that it's okay to look the other way when we have them kind of demand and those kind of pressures. There are also services that, like I said, we do have a statutory duty to provide, and that when you have statutory responsibilities, you can't consider cost or how much that cost is. You have to provide them services regardless of that cost. And Oldham by no means is the only council facing challenges, but you know, councils across the country are facing the same challenges. We know when we go to meetings, when we have conversations with our peers across the country, they talk about the same issue, particularly around those statutory services. But in places like Oldham, people have it tougher. You know, we've seen the recent figures from the government, and we know that people here are having it tougher, where levels of poverty are significantly higher than other places across the country, and that there's greater need for that help and support for some of our vulnerable people, and that's why we have to provide those services, and that has an impact we can afford to provide. So this week we expect to see a policy statement, Councillor Jabbar, don't we, from government that gives us an indicator of our level of funding for the next couple of years, including for the first time in many years the return of needs-based funding. That should hopefully help us in some way address some of these issues, address some of the pressures, because you can't carry on having an increase in services but funding that doesn't match that need. So we're hoping that that will make a difference, and we know the significance of the challenges that we face. We never stop looking at them. We know that we need needs-based funding. 15 years of austerity is not a political point. 15 years of a massive reduction in local government spend is not a political point. It's our reality. It's our residents' reality. So despite these challenges, I'm really proud to say, Councillor Jabbar, I'm going to echo what Councillor Mushtaq said, that you and your team have done fantastically well. Our commitment to Oldham will remain unwavering. Every decision we make is guided by principle, is guided by protecting the most vulnerable in our communities and delivering those essential services. And I'm really proud to say that we're going to continue doing that whilst we continue to invest in, redeveloping our town centre. And our residents deserve both. They deserve us looking after them at the most vulnerable time, but they also deserve for us to do those things that mean that our economy can grow, that people can thrive and build lives in Oldham. So I just want to put a huge thanks to you and your team, Councillor Jabbar, on this. Okay, any other member? No? Go back to the agenda. All right, sorry. So does Cabinet agree with the recommend? Well, does the Cabinet note that report? Thank you. Item 7 is yours again, Councillor Jabbar. It's Council Tax Reduction Scheme.
Thank you, Chair. So this report is about the Council Tax Reduction Scheme. So this is for the next financial year. As you know, from 2013-14, each council is required to produce its own scheme. So this scheme that's before you is unchanged. We brought it in 2014-15, and still the same scheme is being recommended for the next financial year. So essentially, this scheme gives people on low income 85% discount on band day of their council tax liability. I think we looked at this and spent a lot of time, Chair, and we feel that for the next financial year, we want to stick to the current scheme. And the recommendation is that the Cabinet approves this, and then if you do approve it, it goes to full council for approval. So that's the scenario. I'm happy to take any question, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Jabbar. Does any member wish to speak? No? Does Cabinet note the recommendations are set out in the report? Thank you. Item 8 is Springbrook Capital Works. Councillor Ali.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So this report relates to a project at Springbrook Upper School that will enhance its existing provision and provide additional provision for pupils with additional needs. This project will create a total of 36 new places in the school for children with additional needs, and which that means is more of our children will have a great start to life. Springbrook Upper School is a special school that serves all areas of Oldham for children with social, emotional and mental health, and is run by the Newbridge Multi-Academy Trust. This project will increase access to places for 36 children. The cost associated with this project, including contingency of 10%, is £1,739,319 and will be a charge to the Educational Capital Programme 2025-2026, which will be funded from the basic needs and or the high needs capital allocation project. So I am thereby seeking approval for you to approve the above capital, to approve the capital investment for this project as detailed on the paper. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ali. Does any member wish to speak on that report? No? Does Cabinet agree with the recommendations set out in the report? Thank you. Item 9 is extension of short breaks, play and leisure activities from the 1st of April 2026. Councillor Ali, this is your report again.
Yep, thank you. So this is an extension of the short breaks, play and leisure activities that we have in Oldham. So more of our children with special educational needs and disability can access development and leisure activities that meets their needs. It will allow them to build independence, skills, self-esteem and confidence. So this report seeks approval to exercise the option to extend the current contract with Point. So Point is a charity who provides service to our SEND children and their families. The service is a statutory requirement ensuring that children, young people and families have access to short breaks, play and leisure activities. The existing contract is due to expire on the 31st of March 2026. But includes an existing option for a 2-year extension. To exercise the option to extend, the initial term of point short break play and leisure activities contract for a period of 2 years at £200,000 per year from the 1st of April 2026 up to 31st of March 2028. In order to allow services for Oldham's children, young people and families to continue. So that is the recommendation which I am seeking approval for.
Oh, sorry, is that on? Yeah. I do have a conflict here. I'm a trustee at the Charity Point.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the item that's just gone, this next, the current one, all right, the idea is that you declare it before the item, not after. It's okay, no problem. What do we do? So we've not voted on it yet, yeah, so you're exempt from voting on this, yeah. But let me just take some like legal advice.
It's obviously not key.
Yeah. Thank you. So does Cabinet agree with the recommendations as set out in the report? Thank you. So item 10, I think we'll leave Councillor Mushtaq there for as punishment. Councillor Mushtaq, ahead of the next item, do you have any declarations of interest? So item 10 is Change Partnership Programme Delivery, Early Language Support for Every Child, Alternative Provision Specialist Task Force Grant Requirements.
No.
No?
No.
Yep. Okay, Councillor Ali, over to you.
Yep. Thank you, Chair. So this paper before you seeks to draw funding from the Change Partnership Programme so that we can do more for our children with special educational needs and disabilities and their family. So just as a background, Oldham was successful in a bid to be part of the Northwest Change Partnership Programme, explicitly to focus on testing the proposed reforms with the aim of creating greater sustainability within the system. This was initially for a period of 2 years and has now been extended for a final 3rd year with further funding until the end of 2025-2026. The bid has been analysed and considered by the DFE and the areas of activity, including several posts to support our Year 3 delivery programme. So in effect, what we are seeking, Chair, is to continue extending some of our posts. So these posts focus particularly around increasing the current SEND team and specialist services and associated activities relating to the Council's statutory responsibilities. So these are individuals who go out into our schools, work with our parents and carers to improve so that we can provide a better service to children with and families with SEND. So in effect what we are asking, and that will be funded from the Change Partnership Programme. So we are asking Cabinet to sort of extend the funding of these posts. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Ali, that makes sense and it's definitely the right thing to do. So does any other member wish to speak? Does any other member wish to speak? No. No? Does Cabinet agree with the recommendations as set out in the report? Thank you so much. Item 11, request for a direct award of the Domestic Property Disability Adaptations Framework for the provision of level access showers and shower overbaths. Councillor Brownridge.
That rolled off the tongue, didn't it? Right, this, as it says, is about our need to provide adaptations to allow people to continue to live at home. So we have an existing contract with 4 providers who are of good quality and we have no concerns about them. The issue now is the contract's been extended once. It's within the original agreement that we can extend it again, but unfortunately the budget for it has now been exceeded, and that means we can't actually extend it under the existing arrangements. What we're therefore proposing is a 12-month extension, a new temporary contract for 12 months rather, to allow those 4 providers to continue to work with us, together with a small 5% uplift in cost to recognise the increase in costs. We all know about construction inflation, and that's affecting this service. This will then allow officers to look at a new procurement arrangement going forward once that 12 months is over, but will also allow the service to continue to operate without any gaps, which obviously is crucial for the people involved. So that's what we're requesting. It's down as option 4 in the actual report, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Brownridge, and again, that makes sense. Okay, does any other member wish to speak on that report? No? Okay, does Cabinet agree with the recommendations as set out in the report? Okay, thank you so much, and that brings us to the close of the meeting. Thank you so much, everybody.